What's up? I'm Ryan Mitchell from Water Culture. You're listening to Mikey's Untitled Music Show. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to Mikey's Untitled Music Show, guys. Today, we're going to try and learn where the musical creativity and what makes the musical mind of the band Water Culture. Today, we have Ryan with us. Ryan, say what's up, man.
How's it going?
Ryan's going to be having a little conversation with us. I'm going to be interviewing him about his creativity and the albums and, what goes into making an album and things of that nature. So we'll get right into it. Ryan, how long has the band been together?
So we first formed under the name Glow in kind of mid 2018, and we cooked on Cherish You until in 2019. I think we debuted the band, and then we put out our second release EP in 2020, just before COVID. Water Culture, which has the same drummer, lead guitarist, and myself, the vocalist, as Glow. We debuted in 2021. So
Okay.
Water Culture itself has been a project for 4 years, and um, our current lineup is actually like just now coming together. So yeah, a lot of change. I feel like it is kind of reignited the creativity at multiple different points in our existence as a group, because writing with one person versus writing with three people or writing with four people, just adding anyone new into that mix, like it really changes how you cook. And yeah, I feel like that's why our sound has changed so much.
Did you want to introduce the other or talk about the other band members?
Sure. So you've heard the album Cherish You, right?
Yes.
I wrote that with a guy named Brandon Archer. He was the original guitarist of Glow, and when we changed over to Water Culture, a handful of those first songs he had a hand in as well,
Mhm.
that are on Hanging by a Thread. We stopped writing together in 2020, and shortly before then is when Jared Pugh joined. He's our lead guitarist, does all the tappy kind of mathy stuff. His favorite band is This Town Needs Guns, so that's where a lot of that comes from. My drummer since 2019 is Thomas Drake. He's a very talented guy. If you go look at our Instagram, he's all over it. He's been drumming on everything since right after Cherish You came out. And my bassist is Austin Etchels. He is a beautifully bearded man. He's a great bassist. He's been playing with us for about 2 years, and love having him on. It's changed a lot.
Can you tell us one of the earliest memories you have of either like picking up an instrument or picking up a pencil for the first time and being creative with your music? What's one of the first times that you remember that happening?
Um, so I have a couple pretty early memories. My first would probably be when I was like 8, 9, or 10 years old, and it was just singing in the shower. And I had
Mm.
this song that like kind of sounded like Evanescence, because that was what was huge at the time. That I would just sing in the shower, but it was like my own thing, that I would just like make up. My sister would make fun of me for it because she could hear me from outside the bathroom. Um, but I just kind of lived in my head and would come up with like melodies and simple lyrics, and always had an interest in singing and songwriting in that sense. I didn't really realize it at that point. I was just kind of having fun. But then I went and saw a Sleeping with Sirens concert when I was about 12 years, 13 years old, with a few of my best friends down in North Carolina. And After that, I just started working on learning how to sing and scream and put them together. I started doing like vocal covers in my basement that I have from 14, 15 years ago now. When I was just terrible at first, but just worked at it a lot and a lot. And yeah, the first time I wrote a song, I think I was 13 or 14 years old, and some older dude sent me this like Reverb Nation. It's a very dated thing now. Had a couple songs on it, instrumental, and I just wrote some lyrics to it. Nothing ever came of it, but uh, definitely got my mind rolling a bit and kind of, I don't know, inspired what I wanted to do, and I just always stuck with that. So yeah,
It's funny that you say you talk about your sister laughing at you in the from singing in the shower. When I was growing up, the shower was one of my escapes from
safe to
life,
say.
you know what I mean? And that was back in the day when you would take in like your stereo or your fucking your speakers. You would take your big ass speaker into the restroom and just blast that shit. And I remember I would sing my heart out in the shower.
Nice.
You know, I would sing my heart out in the shower, but the whole time I never knew that you can hear
Yeah,
yourself in the shower, or somebody can hear you when you're singing in the shower. So when my when my sister when I first moved in with my wife, my sister goes, "Does he still sing in the shower?" And I just fucking just started dying laughing
yes, I do.
because it was just the realization, that realization of all these years I've been singing my fucking heart out, thinking that nobody can hear me. And she's over here probably
Yeah,
dying laughing all
yeah,
the
no,
time. So
I
funny.
feel that. It's wholesome though. It's a wholesome thing, you know?
Oh hell yeah. That's one of my favorite, that's one of my favorite memories. Just her saying that. It's one of my favorite memories like I'll ever have. Just it shows how much how much your siblings know you and how much they love you, and you know
Yeah.
like it's it's amazing.
Yeah, slightly similarly, I when I was like 12, 13, my stepdad got me like a little PA system, like two little wedge speakers and just a little monitor to like plug into or a little PA to plug into. And
Mhm.
so I would plug my iPhone in and that's it's pretty loud. I would record vocal covers all the time, and I had it set up in my basement, and I would just go down there and practice for hours and hours, like singing and screaming, and um, it got my little brother into that kind of music.
Oh hell
And
yeah.
one time when I was away from the house for like a weekend or a week or something, he went down there and did the same and recovered this like little vocal cover of "Tonight, Tonight, there's a party on the rooftop, top of the world." And when I came home and saw that video, it was one of the things that brought me the most joy ever in my life, knowing that I influenced him at all, that it got him into singing, even if it's or just music in general. And I still have that saved on my phone from about 10, 12 years ago now. It's
Oh, that's
great.
amazing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. When you first start learning how to scream, I I've had some friends in some bands before. I used to be in a band. Supposedly, we had one jam session, and we made a song in the jam
Nice.
session, but we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Um, but like I remember our singer would like um try to learn how to scream, or everybody in that like around that time, if there was a singer in a band, they were trying to scream, right? And so you would hear them like in the restroom sometimes, or like how was it how was it for you? Because you sound really good, bro. Your screams are fucking amazing. Your your guys' music is just amazing. I think, you know.
Thanks, man.
Um, but but how long did it take for you to, you know, feel comfortable with screaming in person?
Mm. Um, well, I started doing vocal covers pretty quickly. I wasn't great at screaming. It like it the technique of it came kind of naturally, kind of quick, but it did take, I would say, probably 2 years to get down well. Um, just kind of implementing a fry. It was a lot of just kind of sitting around imitating noises that I heard until I figured it out. And um, I think I played my first concert when I was 15, maybe. I think 15 or 16. And I started when I was, I want to say, late 12, early 13. So it took a couple years to get, a band together. I think we played three covers. I want to say The Flood by Mice and Men, Danger Wildman by Devil Wears Prada. Just songs that like I learned to scream to really, and like maybe one or two originals that we never put out. What was that band called? I, I actually have no idea. Break the Silence? Break the Silence in high school. That was
Mm.
my first little band. Um, so it definitely took some time. I always wanted to show people, even when I couldn't really do it. I wanted to take vocal covers and like show people what I was doing. I was always very excited about it.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it didn't take all that long. Looking back at it, I wish I'd taken my time, really honed in my craft first. But
Yeah.
yeah, it took about a year and a half, 2 years to really nail down screaming. And then singing came more naturally, but was definitely something that I had to work at to get to where I am. Combining the two into like the Landon Tours type like sing scream thing. That took so fucking long. I mean,
Mm.
that took so goddamn long, and yeah, once I finally got that down, that was I want to that was probably like 4 or 5 years before I got like actually good at that. But that's it's kind of my favorite thing now. I don't do it too often because I don't want to blow up my voice, but
Mm.
um, yeah,
Yeah, it sounds really good. You said your first or well, yeah, your first album was Cherish You.
yes.
Um, how did it feel going into like a studio for the first time to get in there and like lay down your stuff, lay down your tracks and like what's that first feeling you get when you walk in there for the first time?
Um, so I had been in a band before Glow called Anchors for Eyes. It's a Louisville, Kentucky based post-hardcore band that I had listened to a little bit in high school. They had an EP that they recorded with Chris Crummett, who does Sleeping with Sirens, Dance Gavin Dance, like the best of the best post-hardcore. And so I went out there to record with them when I was 17, almost 18, and we recorded two songs with the producer Jordan Haynes, who I still work with to this day. And going to record those songs, I was still I was immature, excitable, didn't really know what I was getting into. I'd never worked with a producer that could actually make me sound um, better on the recordings than I thought I was in my own head at the time. Um, and that changed my life. Um, Being able to sit there and hear the finished project, like it was very stressful going through the recording process because I was writing this really high pitched, like Tillian-esque, like post-hardcore stuff. Um, and just sitting down and hearing the finished project just like switched something in my brain and made everything else in life a little less exciting. But that was what I needed to do again and again. Um, So that band broke up, and while I was moving back from Kentucky to Virginia, I crashed my car pretty bad. I was going 80 and my car flipped a few times and I
Mm. Shit.
fractured, yeah, I fractured three vertebrae. And when I was flying through the air, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna die. And then I landed and I was like, fuck, I almost died without ever putting out an album. Like, lame, gotta do that. So I was on bed rest for 4 months with the spinal injury, and I met Brandon online and we started writing these songs. And then I told him like I'm very down to do this band, but we are gonna go record in Kentucky. So I need like $300 from you, $300 from the drummer, and I'm gonna book us a week in the studio. And getting out there to go do that was reinvigorating to like my soul, my brain,
Mhm.
everything creative in me. It was very different. The Cherish You record is very alt rock, pop punk,
Yeah.
emo. Like it's a very sad record. 'Cause it's about a lot of the stuff I was going through around that time. Um, and yeah, hearing those songs come together was a really special time. And every time I go record, it just kind of solidifies um, the love for what I have for what I do. And even if we don't, like tour the world, get a billion fans, make $1 billion, I live for those kinds of moments of creative musical clarity, um, getting what's in my head onto the MP3 file. You know,
Mhm.
pay thousands of dollars for some vibrations, but there's some good vibrations.
Some good vibrations, that's right.
Yeah,
So did you first write your album like were you guys not together? Like are you guys like really far from each other?
so I'm in Roanoke, Virginia right now. I lived in North Carolina, so I was living in Roanoke from birth till I was about 18. I moved to Kentucky for a year. When I had my accident, I was staying at my dad's place in Roanoke on bed rest, and I would like get out of bed to make vocal covers, get back in bed, or I'll get out of bed to take the video for the vocal cover. I would track it in my bed because I really wasn't supposed to be like standing or doing anything. And then a dude put me and Brandon in touch. We exchanged ideas over email. He would send me a song, I would chop it up and rearrange it a little bit and write vocals over it. And that's how we wrote four out of the six songs on Cherish You. And then eventually, when I was able to get out of bed and drive and such again, I went down to North Carolina, met Brandon, met the drummer we were working with at the time. We were just a three-piece band. And we wrote the song Patterns specifically to collaborate with Bradley Walden on. And then I think we wrote one more, but I can't remember which. So yeah, and then the Cope EP went on. This is the art right here for Hanging by a Thread. But
Okay.
those songs we all wrote together in person. Sad Joints, me, Austin, Jared, and Thomas wrote together in person. And now it's kind of back and forth on it. We're working with a guitarist now named JT Sutek. Or I don't know exactly how to pronounce his last name, but I think that might be it. Um, and we've been working via email because I'm back up in Roanoke now. I had been in North Carolina for the last 5 years, but I just moved back up here to live with my partner. So kind of back to doing things from a distance again. But whenever we can practice and jam and write stuff together, that is also really nice. I do love doing that.
Um, are you kind of like are you kind of just like used to that now? Like, is it? I'm sure it's a lot easier for you now, but what were some kind of challenges that you had in the beginning when you guys can't all be in the same room together? You guys, so are you sending you sending like guitar riffs or like you're sending lyrics or some kind like uh, what kind of challenges did you have to face while making that album?
Honestly, it was so effortless. I mean, it was just so effortless.
Awesome.
He wrote um Worthwhile and Cherish You first. And I didn't have to do too much besides like chop up a piece here or there, extend a verse, put in an extra chorus because, I'm the singer, let's get that chorus in there again. Um, but Brandon's such a great songwriter. He I was on Oxycontin because it broke my back. Like they were
Mhm.
really loading me up on pills.
Yeah.
So I was in the band in Kentucky and I was used to writing. All my experience had been writing via I don't know if you could hear my cats beefing in the background. Um just writing to instrumentals, and those instrumentals were so solemn. I don't know the perfect word, but they were very pretty, very sad, and it just kind of resonated with how I've been feeling. I went through a breakup right before I moved back from Kentucky, and it was really tough, really emotional thing. Then I broke my back and had a lot of time to sit there and think about all of it. So I already was pretty used to writing just instrumentals, but writing those last couple songs in person as well, like really, we just clicked. And after we wrote that record, we wrote a handful of other songs, and Brandon himself went through kind of a lot. His dad passed, and we kind of fell off with writing for about a year and a half, and
Hmm.
that was really tough. But then we got back to writing the songs that were on Cope and later are on Hanging by a Thread, and we had to kind of transition to writing as a group to get anything done. So that was different, and I enjoyed that as well. But the Cherish You process was special, and looking back on it, I hold it pretty dear in my heart. It's a special time.
Yeah. And then you get to your EP, Left You. Um,
Leftover?
Leftover, sorry.
Yeah.
Leftover. I believe there's four songs on that one.
Yeah.
It's so what was the inspiration for the EP?
So we went in June of 2020. So it was in the middle of COVID. We'd had to reschedule some studio dates, and then we finally got to go do it. I had been writing some vibier songs that a couple of them are on the record. So Far Gone, Tired Eyes, and then there's a song called Once Before Today. I was writing those as a side project with Jared, and then Jared and Brandon collaborated on Leftover, Tell Me to Leave, um, what are the other ones? Wait, and whatever the other song is on that. But we went to go record those things as two separate projects at the same time. And then I don't know, we were just kind of sitting with it, and we decided to make it all the same project, but to change the name of Glow because honestly, reasons that I'm probably not going to get into. But we just changed all those songs into water culture songs, put Better Off out. Oh, that's the other song. As the last Glow song, announced our name change in 2021. And I just packaged those songs as like the heavier songs that we had to have a little EP, but there wasn't like any specific inspiration for that EP. It was just songs that we were writing and had been sitting on for quite a while, honestly. Um, so yeah, but after Brandon left, um, I wasn't sure. what was going to happen because he was such an instrumental or integral part of our process
Yeah.
that I wasn't sure that we were going to recover. And also, Jared stepped back from playing live shows with us, and we only get to see him maybe a couple times a year now. He has some medical issues that keeps him from traveling much, and I I wasn't sure that we were going to continue being a band. It was basically just me and my drummer at the time, and I texted him and I was like, "Hey man, like, are you going to stick around? Like, do you want to keep doing this? Do you want to find more members?" We had these songs that we'd been sitting on to go record that were the rest of Hanging by a Thread. And he had my back. He was like, "Yeah, man, like, I love what we do. I'm going to stick around. Like, don't worry about that. Long as you're here, I'm here." And we found Austin to come play on bass. We went and recorded the rest of this record. Just me, Austin, and Thomas. Jared recorded his guitar parts from home. Um, we have five more songs ready to go that are a part of that. But the Hanging by a Thread title, what I was kind of getting to, was the I don't know, the motivation, I guess, and all of that to put those songs all together and release them as an album. I wasn't sure that they were ever all gonna have an album release because throughout COVID, like we just experienced like loss after loss after loss. And yeah, it's difficult to find motivation when seemingly everybody around you loses theirs and can't continue on or keep up with what you're passionate about. Um, but sometimes it just takes doing the damn thing and finding some more people and staying resilient. Um, so that's what we've done. And I like to think that we are a lot better for it now.
Who are some of your like your biggest musical influences that you feel um influence the style of music that you make?
Um, Piano's Become the Teeth is one of my favorite bands. Their album Keep You is huge to me. Influences my writing style a lot. Um, the band Tides of Man is really, really good. They did two records with Tillian Pearson as their vocalist, which were great records. But their instrumental post rock record, uh, Young and Courageous, is one of my favorite records of all time. It's beautifully written, makes me feel every emotion in the book. It's very fun to listen to while I write. I can just kind of like get melodies in my head and come up with lyrics. Um, who else? Growing up, definitely The Devil Wears Prada and early of Mice and Men, like their first two records. Those were massive to me, massive. And Pierce the Veil is another one. I think Vic Fuentes is like one of the best songwriters of our generation. And yeah, I'm sure I'm missing a handful, but those are some of my like my Mount Rushmore bands.
For
Yeah.
sure. I was able to watch we were able to watch Pierce the Veil this last when they played with Blink in San Diego.
Yeah, that's sick.
Amazing show. It was an amazing show.
I'm
Pierce the
pretty
Veil
sure
sounded
that's
sorry?
their hometown, right?
Yeah, that's their home. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
their hometown. So they came out to like a Spanish song,
A little
and
Mexicana.
yeah, little Mexican song, and just had everybody singing and freaking, and then they come out, bah, like it
Mm.
was a great show. It was a great show, and I never, not that I wasn't ever a fan of Pierce the Veil. It's just I think that came a little bit after my time.
Sure.
It's more post-hardcore.
Hmm.
Uh, and I was when I first started listening to this kind of music, it was like when pop punk turned into like emo,
Hmm.
and it was like emo slash pop punk also, like 2004, 2005. One
Yeah.
of my first emo bands was Census Fail. They're one of my favorite bands. One of my favorite bands now, where I was able to watch them also um their last show. It was the New Jersey versus the World, where they
Oh,
played
hell
with
yeah.
they played with Says the Day. Um, they played their Let It Unfold You album. That's my favorite. Well, I mean, if you're a Census Fails fan, that's most
Yeah.
likely your favorite
We
album.
did we did we were part of a Census Failed like tribute album, and we did a cover of New Year's Eve.
Oh hell yeah!
Glad Boy Angels Wings. That song's really fun. That's the first thing we tracked with Thomas on drums.
That's amazing sound. That's really an
Yeah.
amazing sound. When you first start getting into like sitting down and writing a song, like I guess the lyrics of a song. What's your Do you have like I guess like maybe not a ritual, but like something that you do every single time, or does does something pop in your head and then you have to write it down, or how does that process usually go?
Um, whenever it's usually like a late at night thing, or I'm in the shower, or at the gym, or just whatever. Whenever something kind of hits me, whether it's like I'm listening to a song, there's a little instrumental break, and I think of something that I would sing over it. I just write it down in my notes app, and sometimes that snowballs into a whole song. Sometimes it doesn't. But whenever we're jamming as a full group, um, we I'll just kind of like go back through that and find something that I think fits, and that is one way. Or if I have an instrumental, sometimes it's just what's the last thing I cried about, and then I just kind of go from there. But yeah, whatever's been affecting me personally a lot, like family stuff, relational stuff, life in general, something with a friend. Our song "Leftover" is about a good friend of mine whose relationship ended because they got cheated on by this. Like they were like a couple that I thought would be together forever, and that kind of rocked me. So I got that song, and I was like, "Is it okay if I write this about you?" And he was like, "Yes, King." So yeah, really, really, whatever, just whatever matters emotionally to me.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I'm kind of prone to commercializing, and yeah.
Um, you said that you got in an accident.
Mm.
You got in an accident, and you were on bed rest. Like, where does where does that motivation like come from? Where does that like will to be like, this shit ain't gonna stop me, like just because I'm in a
I mean,
bed
it
or
was like I said, it was one of my first thoughts after I got out of that car. Like I had a broken back, I was going through shock, and I was pretty focused on the fact that I almost died without putting a record out. Because I just like all my teenage years I spent kind of focusing on and honing in the creative side of things and learning how to sing and scream, and um, it felt wrong that life almost ended, and I hadn't put my best foot forward and really given myself my best or a chance to express myself and put stuff out there. So it was, I just had that dog in me at the time. I just really wanted to make some fucking music, and the only way I knew how to do that was go make vocal covers, find good people to surround yourself with who are maybe more talented than yourself and can bring the best out of you. And yeah, I was highly motivated to get her done. Like there wasn't much time in between me getting off bed rest and us going to record those songs.
What what's been the ultimate purpose like of music in your life?
The ultimate purpose of music in my life, just to create. I want to create and perform, make friends. Um, I've met loved ones through what I do, and um, I've had 8 of my top 10 experiences in my lifetime have been in a studio, or it has been the moment where a song came together in demo form in my head or in one way or another. I love playing big shows. I would love to get to the point where um, we can kind of frequently and consistently play shows that are like very fulfilling. And yeah, writing stuff that means something to other people is probably second or third behind all of that. But it is a really good feeling to hear from people that a song that I wrote or whatever help them through a time, or they related to it, or just enjoyed it, you know.
Mm-hmm. What's the biggest crowd you've played in front of?
Um, like 700, 750, something like that.
It's
A couple
amazing.
times. Yeah.
How does that feel? Like it when you go into a new venue and it's this much bigger crowd than you're used to. Like,
Our second show was to like 700 people, and Kellen Quinn was side stage. So we were, it's very much a shit or get off the pot type of feeling.
mm,
And
yeah.
I am built for that. I love the pressure. I love the attention, frankly. Um, and it brings a level out of me that I wasn't aware that I possessed, but just anytime I've gotten on a stage in front of a crowd that is sizable, I, it brings a little performer out of me, and
Yeah.
I love it. Um, I've seen bands get on stage in front of people that big and then just kind of like turn around and sing their songs because they can't really look at them. But
Yeah.
I love that shit. I eat it up. I play to the crowd. Um, and maybe that's just because I grew up going to shows and like being like I want to be that dude. So yeah, I have a bit of confidence or charisma when it comes to that. Yeah.
Yeah. You can hear it in your style, bro. Like, or in your songs. Like, you guys, like, you guys don't. It's not that you don't hold anything back, because I'm sure anybody that performs doesn't hold anything back or whatever. But it's just, I don't know. It's just I don't know if it's just because you sound really good, but there's like some kind of confidence or some kind of swag that isn't just it's hardcore music. You know what I mean? Like it's you guys, and that's what I really like about like finding these different bands, or finding different artists, is everybody has their own flair,
Yeah.
and you know everybody has their own style, and yeah, it's the same genre, but everybody has your own style, and I really dig your guys' style. You guys go from, I love how, like, it's kind of like, it's not a roller coaster in the sense of like it's everywhere, but
It
it's
is.
like,
We are all the fuck over.
but like it's I love how you put the songs together in your album to kind of give you like a like sad joints, and then you get a song like, what was the next one? You get a song like So Far Gone also, and it's just like Tired Eyes was the one that really was the one that actually like caught me.
Yeah.
And or I mean, not Tired Eyes, Sad Joints. Sad Joints was the one that actually, yeah, that caught me, and like I felt it, bro. I felt like,
Feel that.
oof, you know, it
Yeah,
was
that's the so we went and recorded 6 songs, just me, Austin, and Thomas. Jared recorded his guitar parts separately. Sad Joints is part of those. The rest of the songs were all a bit older, but Sad Joints is just like very attention grabbing. It starts with his panic chords and hits like a really heavy intro, really heavy outro. I love the chorus and like the really vibey parts. Um, and so I just wanted to throw that on there as like a little bit of a new, fresh breath to the album. And I'm glad you resonate with that as well. That's sick.
no, yeah,
The other 5 songs we have from that session, we're getting ready to put out as singles, kind of building up towards the next record, and
okay.
really excited about all those too. They all turned out really good.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. One of the last questions I like to ask is, or the last question I like to ask is, what is water culture's message to the world?
Um, if you're an artist, don't be pigeonholed to a genre. Write what you want to when you want to. There's 7 or 8 billion people in the world. Not everybody's gonna like the same thing. So create what you want to. You don't have to make the same thing over and over. Um, Water Culture as a band, the name comes from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is about healing through um, any kind of tumultuous times, any kind of hardship, whether you're being attacked or just going through some really hard shit. Everything's going to be all right. Just learn the lesson out of whatever situation you're in. Turn the other cheek, kill him with kindness, move on. It's not worth um, being an asshole or dwelling on things for forever. Things are going to hurt, and you're going to want to feel that in the moment. And I feel like that's the healthiest thing you can do. But living your life for yourself and spending the time that you have here, focused on who you love, what you're passionate about, is really all you can do. Um, get a cat because you know life
They're
is
awesome.
pointless without cats. Um, and yeah, that's really all. Make music, do fun shit, smoke a little bit more weed or less weed if you have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes everything better, right?
Yeah, no, 100%, especially when you're listening to some music.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ryan. Where can we find Water Culture's music?
You can find Water Culture hanging by a thread on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon, wherever you listen to music. Our Instagram is Water Culture Band. I think we have a Bandcamp. I don't really use that. So, yeah, we're on all the social medias, blah, blah, blah. Social media is a scam. Um, and yeah, that's really all. Thanks
All
for having me,
right.
man.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you coming along this musical journey with us. You know, that we're still fairly new. Well, not fairly new. We're still pretty much brand new, but it's been about a month, but getting a lot of getting a lot of interviews, getting a lot. We have a bunch of interviews, coming, guys. I've already recorded like 6 of them, and I have like 10 like in the back burner, or 10 coming up. So
Congratulations, man.
thank you. It's really exciting, and honestly, like it's more of a collaborative effort, this show,
Hmm.
because I can't like, I guess, yeah, I can't like do it by myself because
That would be interesting, though.
you know.
Having a conversation with yourself about music that you might want to make. There's maybe an idea there.
uh, I think you put me on, bro.
Call it Schizo Sundays.
But yeah, like, Like I can't share anything if you guys don't allow me to. I mean, I could just be that guy that just, grabs everybody's music and just, puts it out there, which I'm sure everybody would be okay with also, but I like getting permission, and I
Yeah.
like it to be more of a, like I said, a collaborative effort where, you know, all the, like, I would love for the bands to like meet each other, collaborate with each other. Like that's also like a big reason why I'm doing this, is just to bring everybody together. That's one of my big philosophies, is if we're all together, like, we can accomplish anything,
Oh,
as long as, like, we're together, and like you
respect.
said, like, staying positive, right? Staying positive and going through that grind, and um like,
It's all you can do.
yeah, just doing it, and like you said, killing with kindness. That's beautiful. Like, that's my biggest, especially at work, like, when people say, oh, like, customer this, customer that, like, bro, like, if somebody's being rude, they're probably just having a bad day,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah, I
if
struggle with it sometimes. I can be a little bit of an asshole, but it's something I strive for, you know?
yeah, but if you don't match that energy, 90% of the time, that other person will feel the
Mhm.
energy
Yeah.
that they're giving out, kind of like a rubber, right? It's like it bounces right off of me, goes back to you, and then you kind of see that realization in their eyes or in their face that, like, oh, kind of being an asshole right now, and
Yeah.
then it'll change, right? But it's as long as you don't egg it on or go with it, it'll change. It'll change. But um, thank you again, so much. Do you guys have anything coming out soon, or any shows?
Oh,
Any?
so we have 6 shows coming up in February. February 8th, we are playing at The Den in Winston-Salem. February 9th, we are playing at New Brooklyn Tavern in Columbia, South Carolina with Aim High. They're a great band. If you haven't heard of them, maybe get them on here. Um, and then the 10th, we are playing somewhere in Charlotte, North Carolina, but you can follow us on Instagram and find out more about that because I think we just announced that today and I can't remember the details. Then, well, actually, it would be 7 shows because on my birthday, February 20th, we are playing at Hoots in Winston-Salem, turning 28, survived the 27 Club, unlike my
Oh.
birthday buddy Kurt Cobain. Um, the 20 the 21st we're playing up here in Roanoke, Virginia at the Spot on Kirk. It's my hometown. It's always a fun show. 22nd we're playing at the Annex, which is a 450 cap bar in Norfolk, Virginia, which I hope we sell some tickets to because we've never played there before.
Mm.
Um, and the 23rd we are playing at the Poorhouse in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm patting myself on the back that I remembered 6 of the 7 of those where we're playing. I'm not the greatest with details. I just show up and sing.
Well, thank you again for joining us. Like we say at the end, everybody, be safe, be great. We share because we care.
Beautiful.
Peace.